Hey, do you want to see one of the weirdest abandoned rail cars in Pennsylvania? Of course you do! Come on, let's go, 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 go. So, here we are in Pennsylvania, checking out some art. Some nice modern art. I'm looking for some ancient art, though. So, the art I'm looking for, it's not so much this stuff or even this stuff. Got some track here. To me, track always leads to good art. Look at that. See what I tell you. What I tell you, I'd make you people art connoisseurs after all. Ain't that the cutest thing you ever seen? Kind of looks like a New York City subway track inspection vehicle that would come down the tunnel. A million lights on at 2 a.m. and you're waiting on a platform and you're looking. And you're like, ooh, the train's coming. And then you see that's really bright. And then you're like, nah, that's one of those work trains. Damn it. You can tell it's been sitting here a while because it has dead vines that have grown up. And some more of these stupid invasive vines that are goddamn everywhere, climbing on up. But look at that. Engine run switch must be turned on for electric power. I'm gonna assume that that is nearby. Maybe it's under that little EMD thing. Look at this thing. Oh, whoa. Look. Fuck it, I'm gonna come in here. This is cool. I do not know the purpose of this thing offhand, but it has PC letters on it. Penn Central for sure. So this was a work maintenance car that I'm sure PC inherited from someone else for, who knows, AF Industries owner BLT 24? Maybe? This is a very Conrail style number. So Conrail definitely got their hands on this thing and renumbered it and used it for something. It's a little hard to see under that graffiti, which is 2023, very recent. Wow, so freaking cool. And you can see the plants have taken over. It's really hard to climb up into that thing, but it looks kind of empty from here. Cool, it still has a headlight up there. This is a cool machine. I gotta do some research and find out what this one was. But it is hella cool, I can tell you that. And it is next to a string of boxcars. So I'm just gonna look at this first one. This was built in 1963. What is this? Oh wow. What's that? Chicago Northwestern. It looks like that logo would have been. But this is cool. Chicago Northwestern boxcar with this doodle buggy thing on the side next to it with cool porthole windows and a side door. That's really neat. I'm in love with this thing. I want to buy it. I want to live in it. This is going to be my RV. I'm just going to slap some wheels on it and drive it down to Interstate. That is a cool line of stuff. I gotta get some photos. I'll just go down to the end of these cars, see what I can see, and then come on back this way. So, EPRY, that'll give you an idea who owns it at the moment, but it was definitely Chicago Northwestern, I would say. I mean, the logo's blacked out, but you get the idea. Unfortunately, the sun is at a really bad angle today for photos, so I'll do what I can. Not bad for video, though. This train has some really nice relic pieces on it. As I explained in my first video, when you see a tag that's kind of faded out with rust through it, you know it's been running for a while. So this one was probably done, I guess, at least 15 to 20 years ago. It's a really nice style, though. And here's the end of the line. We have some older graffiti, maybe a moniker back there. Nice clear employee-owned Northwestern Railway logo, and then a whole set of cars. Let me take a look around a little bit more. This artwork is everywhere here. I mean, these are some huge sculptures. So this person must have their workshop right here or right nearby. Whoa. I thought that was gonna be a Jesus thing, but it's not. Oh, I really love this one. This one, the one on the other end, that's so cool. I'm sure that probably pisses off a lot of people, but it is super cool. It's huge, and you can just kind of walk on up in it. So yeah, I mean, it's an open door. I gotta at least walk up to the door. Wobbly box. Cool. And now we're inside. Leave a door open. There's no way that's not gonna happen. Wow. So it's definitely really rusted out. There's an oven there. This is a really interesting car. Air tanks up here, or maybe water tanks. Not sure what these are. It's super interesting. Very rudimentary old controls. Or vice versa. Another valve. There was only 3 controls. Maybe there was something there. No pedals. Plants moving in. I can't say I've ever seen anything quite like this. I'm not sure what to make of it. Got a bird's nest up there. So if the birds can move in, why not me? So there you go. A really cool track maintenance vehicle of some kind, and a string of former C&W boxcars. And you don't see those every day, and you certainly don't see them every day in eastern Pennsylvania. So really cool to find this. So yeah, I was about to leave, and then I realized I didn't take any photos of this thing. So I realized when I was looking at the number over here that that was like a 6,000 series number or a 600,000 series number, and I believe Conrail used that number series for their snow removal equipment. So this might have been a flanger that was used for removing snow. And down here there would have been little plows. And you can kind of see that there's an attachment area here. That's my theory at the moment. We'll verify this more when we get back to the lodge. But we've got 64707. So that's a really good indicator. That should tell us exactly what this car is via the internet. Like I said, very weird, interesting car. Let's scoot on out of here. So let's get into the details. This is definitely a flanger. It is used to remove snow from between the tracks. If you leave your snow in there, it might melt and, cause a whole lot of track damage and cause all kinds of problems. So yeah, the plow needs to be raised and lowered manually at each crossing, thus why there were at some point seats in this thing, as well as little ovens to keep the crew warm. So this photo is this exact car. This is the flanger in 1980. It looks great in 1980, but according to the Conrail Historical Society, it was off of their roster by 1987. So what happened? Here's the car in 2007. Little bit of time passed between, and you can see it has lost all of its windows. The windows are boarded up. Even some of the boards are falling off. It has become very rusty. The plows are gone. This is right around the time it arrived near the location it is presently located. It also has Lackawanna Valley Railroad Corporation logos, reporting markings, I should say. Those, we're going to talk more about ownership in part 2 of this video, because that's a thing. So let's talk instead more about what this car actually is. So this car is probably a home-built flanger Probably done by Pennsylvania Railroad, definitely done by Pennsylvania Railroad, I should say. It appears to have once originally been a X-29 boxcar. Pennsylvania Railroad had thousands of these cars built, starting in 1924, which is the build date on this car. So that's a coincidence. Maybe not. More specifically, it's likely an X-29E or an X-29G, which are like subgroups of rebuilt cars that were done in like the 50s and 60s. They were rebuilding these cars all along. So these particular two subgroups, they had this bigger Keystone logo on the side, and we're going to talk more about that in a second. Here's one of the original photos without the big Keystone logo. You can see that there are 12 side panels of metal here riveted together, same as on our flanger. We've got the trucks are similar. We've got the ladders that are similar. There's a ton of similarities between the structure of this car and our flanger. So let's get back to that logo. You can see it right here in this photo. It's right there. This was definitely an X-29 boxcar, probably one of the group that was built in the 50s. That's my best guess. Now, these pieces of evidence aren't conclusive. There's not like a corporate archive record saying that this car number became this flanger, but the evidence is in front of your eyes. So I'll leave it to anyone out there who wants to earn their train decay detective badge to track down, go into the archives and find that. That would be cool. Second interesting thing here, though, is we've got these interesting little windows on it. My guess here is that these came off of an N5C class caboose, which Pennsylvania Railroad had a ton of as well. Often flangers and boxcars, cabooses and boxcars became flangers when they did these home-built rebuilds. So my guess is that they used some porthole windows from some cabooses that were going to scrap. And again, if you want to earn your train decay detective badge and you have access to an N5C and you know where this flanger is, or I could tell you where this flanger is, measure the diameter of the windows and let's compare. That would be pretty conclusive. Another interesting thing here is that the windows are riveted into the side of this car. So riveting started to go out of style in the 1960s, which is why my guess is that this conversion into a flanger happened sometime in the 40s or 50s. That's just a guess. Again, I don't have the corporate records. Interestingly, totally different sidebar, Norfolk Southern still uses at least one X-29 car for storage in one of its major yards. And so that's part one of this video. For part two, we're going to talk about, should this car be saved or not? What do you think? Should it be saved? Comment below. Also, I'm wondering a few other things here. Does anyone out there know of any other Pennsylvania Railroad flangers similar to this one that still exist? I was having a little bit of trouble figuring that out, so I wanted to create a little bit of space where you guys get to comment and send me some input. If you know, you could definitely message me. Also, if you happen to know who owns this rail car, that's something I want to cover in the second video. Still working through that. If you know something, definitely message me, because I sort of figuring that out, but not really. So if someone knows directly, that would be so much better than me just wasting a whole lot of time trying to figure it out myself. So if you know about that, message me. Also, in the next video, I'm going to throw in some footage of some other cars that are nearby that are also abandoned. I don't know 100% who owns them, so we'll talk about that more in part two. Part two of this video will probably come within the next month. Probably sooner. I want to aim to do it within the next week or two, but you know, life happens, so I want to pad in plenty of time for anything weird that comes along. So if you know things, let me know. I will give you a huge shout out in the next video if you want it. If you don't, you can totally do that too. Just let me know your thoughts there. Anyway, let's get done with this, and I will see you very soon for part two. Should this thing be saved? And what about these other weird train cars that are in the neighborhood that I didn't get to talk about yet? Just a surprising amount of content just around this one rail car. So, oy vey. I will catch you next time. So this is the Death Star of letters and words, because words and letters, they are what will ultimately kill you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. Share it all over the damn place.